Hello there. Welcome to Dateline Lagos. I'm Loretta Chiogo. Here are the highlights of what's coming on this week's edition. Lagos heightens its business outlook, partners more with the private sector. Lagos and Kano state governments take a new dimension towards sustainable development with the successful hosting of the first ever edition of a joint economic and investment summit held in Lagos. Let's begin with a State Bilateral Investment Corporation. Lagos means business. That's the tag of the conference organized by the state to re-emphasize its intention to grow the economy of the state. The aim of the conference is to provide jobs by the private sector, taking advantage of the enabling environment created by the Lagos state government.
Thank you very much, Taiwo.
This business meeting is attended by people engaged in different endeavors of the private sector.
Thank you very much, the Honorable
It is a forum to start the conversation on how to make Lagos a more viable economy with their cooperation. Though the governor presents an impressive sounding scorecard for the state, he is not satisfied with the status quo.
If we were a country, we would be fifth largest. And then look at Lagos. The GDP is 136 billion, but the IGR is just 341 billion. The truth is this: where you don't pay taxes, we have to go and look for finance on a very expensive scale to be able to reach out to all the social infrastructure that we need to do. So, total taxes collected in 2017, 284 billion, as against the expenditure of 800 billion. So who is suffering it? Because when you now go to bond markets, you go to commercial finance, it's coming with an interest-induced flow. But you know what? We delay, and then eventually we still have to pay through the IGR and the taxes that you pay. So when we're paying, we pay principal and pay interest. So the question is this: do we have to continue to run the template in that manner? The answer is no. So we need to talk to ourselves and say, you know what? My generation is almost going out. What do I bequeath to that my 5-year-old daughter about the future of this city? Those are the questions I'm asking myself. The bottom line is this: you increase our GDP, you create jobs for our people, then the taxes increase, then I use it for social infrastructure. It's a win-win.
The governor also addresses the controversial increase in the Lagos land use charge.
Pensioners, you don't need to pay. Owner-occupier is just point-something percent. Churches, mosques, NGOs, government institutions, it's free. So who is going to take care of the ones that are free? If you are owner-occupier, you don't need to pay. So it's the commercial part that people are shouting. So how many properties are even in Lagos anyway? So the whole thing is just concentrated in the hands of those who have commercial properties. So why have we increased? We should have been doing it every 5 years. But I'm looking at it. If I must sustain, according to what Mr. Napoleon referred to, if I want to sustain the level of my vision, I have to throw something back to people. I don't need to come and meet you if I continue to borrow money. But you are borrowing to punish you ultimately, which is not what we want. Because it's even the taxes you will pay in some years' time that we use to pay the interest. The number of people that are really affected in all these commercial transactions, they are like 300,000 against 24 million.
The engagement then turns interactive with questions and suggestions from the floor.
Lagos State Security Trust Fund is probably one of the best initiatives, partnership, public-private partnership I ever know. And other states are beginning to emulate and copy that initiative. I will want to call on my colleagues in the private sector to increase their contribution in the area of Lagos State Security Trust Fund. And I am, on behalf of my board of directors, making a pledge to increase by the 150% what we had contributed in the past.
We are together on Saturday, and I was also raising the issue on this tax. When I went back to my office, by the time one, I don't want to mention his name, one colleague of mine took me through. He said that, look, LASG, in fairness, it's not too much, but governor will reduce it a bit and let people go and pay. Thank you.
I have nothing whatsoever against any form of independence, but I just, implement whatever it is that has been passed to me by the legislature. I have a personal experience also that actually makes me very bitter that I should be able to correct everything that is actually going on in the probate registry. It's just the same thing as what you see in the land registry or in the land department. I share the same view with you. We are trying to automate it. They've awarded the contract. But again, we are missing out, just the same way you said. There must be a correlation between the buyer and selling, because at the end of the day, everybody dies. In this society, we are more or less like a government to ourselves. So those people living in estates, they constitute a government. They provide light, security, provide everything. But again, you know what? It's your own CSR. I don't want to go to the level of saying that, wait now, I don't. You must always remember that I am a subnational and I am a state working within the context of 36 states and a federal government. So I have political limitations, economic limitations, and I don't have that sovereignty to do what you want me to do. And then if I must sustain my political relevance, I must work within the ambit of those my limitations. So when you put it together, it's not like your boardroom politics. That's why I say sometimes you make political decisions that appear sensible.